glad you sorted everything out.
We've got Andrew to thank for that.
Yes, he can be very persuasive.
And now you're back, I hope we'll be seeing plenty of you around the stud.
Oh, you can count on it. I need to check on the progress of my stallions.
Plus the added bonus of irritating Chris.
You'll just have to be reminded of how you screwed your price out of him.
Oh, poor Chris. He likes to think of himself as an empire builder, but he's never really got above being one of Napoleon's little shopkeepers.
Tara, I thought we'd finished our negotiations.
Oh, we did, most satisfactorily.
Then what are you doing here?
Ah, you don't get rid of me that easily. I'll be popping in quite a bit to keep an eye on my stallions. Oh, Andrew's just taking me over to the stables now. Perhaps you'd like to join us.
No, thank you. I've got work to do.
Oh, so nothing changes then. You ought to remember, all work, no play makes Chris a very dull boy. Come on, Andrew.
Nice to have Tara back, isn't it?
Nice is not the word I was searching for. Have you typed up those letters I dictated yesterday?
Yes, Mr. Tate.
I realise that you and Tara are old friends, but you should never forget who pays your wages.
You can leave that. I'm driving into Hotton, so I can give you a lift instead of you taking the school bus.
What are you going to Hotton for?
I'm going to an auction.
You're lot just to be buying livestock.
Who said it was a cattle auction?
What then?
Farm implements.
We don't usually go dressed in a jacket and tie. Are you sure it's not a cover story?
What do you mean?
I reckon he's got a lady friend, Rob. Hey.
You certainly dressed for it.
That's not funny.
It's okay, Dad. It's been a while now. We don't mind if you want to get out and about again.
Look, I don't need any of your nonsense. I'm going to be late for my appointment. Get yourselves ready. I'll go and get the car started.
What is he up to then?
I don't know. And he certainly ain't going to tell us.
I doubt it's a lady who ought to be in a better mood. I hope it's not to do with Sonic Farm.
Well, whatever it is, you don't want to be late for it. Better not keep him waiting.
I hope Mrs. Hope doesn't see me.
Why?
Well, she'd say I was being disloyal going to the supermarket.
It's a lot cheaper.
I know, but she says it doesn't have the friendly service.
Well, that might be true when you're serving, but Viv don't exactly radiate sunshine from behind the counter.
She has the good and bad days.
Really? I'll take your word for it. I've only been here a few years. Must have missed all the good ones.
Oh, you two seem very cheerful this morning. It must be company you're keeping.
Eh?
Each other. I thought Emily was only staying for a couple of days. It must be weeks now.
Paddy's been very kind putting up with me all this time.
Oh, it's easy. You're perfect house guest.
No, you don't have to explain, love. I like to see young folk happy.
What do you mean by that? Shouldn't think,
What? You and me? Don't be silly, Paddy.
No, yeah, you're right.
We very much regret having to announce this increase in fees, but are confident that you'll agree that the stud still offers the best value in the market, yours, etc., etc.
Have you checked the new fees with Tara?
Well, there's no need to.
Well, just as a matter of courtesy. They are her stallions.
Tara has no say on company policy. She's no longer a director. She's just a necessary evil.
I think someone's a bit grumpy this morning.
Someone can live without the sarky comments.
Oh, pardon me for breathing.
Look, I know I'm in a lousy mood. It was bad enough losing out to Tara without her coming in this morning to rub my nose in it.
Well, we all have to deal with it sometime, Chris. I should know. You have to pick yourself up, dust yourself off and start over.
That's not how it works in business. If someone puts one over on you, you make sure you pay them back with interest.
Right, so you're planning some Charles Bronson vengeance on the aristocracy, yeah?
She'll be sorry she crossed me. I promise you that.
Well, if you're going to be spitting blood all morning, I'm going to get off.
I may have some work for you.
Yeah? Oh, and you can always get Terry to check up on me if you get worried.
Charity. Something funny?
Not at all, Mr. Tate.
Back so soon? Does Chris want you out of the way again?
No, I wanted to get out of here so he's in the right mood again.
Well, what have you done to upset him?
Me? Nothing. It's Lady Tara that's got up his nose.
Ah, well, she has a habit of doing that to people.
Yeah, she's got the better of him on some business deal at the stud, and now he's swearing vengeance.
Well, for once, I wish him luck.
Hey, maybe you two could clue together and hire a hitman.
Might suit Chris. Doesn't suit me.
Oh, not into revenge then?
In business, maybe. But this is my life we're talking about. She broke up my marriage and cut me off from my wife and kids. And now she just walks past me as if none of it ever happened.
Oh, come on, you can't blame her entirely. It takes two to tango.
Yeah, but I'm the one who had to pay the price. It cost her nothing.
Yeah, because she had nothing to lose.
That's what worries me. I mean, we both got a buzz out of living dangerously. But maybe she always knew that if she got bored, all she had to do was get careless. Maybe it was all just a game. Maybe she never cared about me at all.
Well, there's only one way to find out. Go and ask her.
This was never really about money. That's what sticks in my throat. Tara doesn't need cash. She's still the same spoilt little rich girl. I just wanted to put one over me.
Wasn't that what you were trying to do when you bought her out?
I was trying to get rid of her once and for all. She's a loose cannon, a troublemaker.
Well, I'm sure Sean and Angie would agree with you there.
Exactly. She loves stirring things up, playing with people's lives. Looks down on the rest of us just because she's got a title and a few influential friends.
Oh, please don't pretend that this is a class war, Chris. You're hardly champion of the common man.
At least I've worked for what I've got. She's never worked at anything, except causing trouble.
Morning, all. What's on?
Oh, he's getting his chainmail ready to fight the Dragon of Oakwell.
Eh?
Ignore her.
Oh, suits me fine. I've had enough of your moaning for one morning. Why don't you take him down to the Woolpack and try and cheer him up a bit?
Well, I thought cheering him up with Charity's job.
Well, even she's had enough of him this morning. Gone over to the haulage yard again.
Yeah, well, she spends a lot of time over there.
With Chris in this mood, who could blame her? And I'm sure Sean appreciates her company more than he does.
Did you find Charity yesterday?
Yeah, she was just having a quiet drink in the Woolly. Nothing to worry about.
Depends who she was having a drink with.
Sean.
You better get over to the haulage yard. Tell Charity I want her back here straight away.
Right.
I expect you've had your fill of married men. Oh, I think I got what I deserved. I wanted my cake and eat it too.
Yeah, well, Sean, if I had a quid for every bloke who told me their wife didn't understand them, I'd probably own Oakwell by now.
Well, that was the trouble. Angie did understand me. She knew me better than anyone. We've been together so long, you see.
Yeah, and maybe Tara saw that. Maybe that was the attraction. She's a woman, right, who's got everything except a relationship that lasts, and if she can't have it, she's not going to want anyone else to either. From what I've heard of her, that fits. Hey, why don't you see what she's got to say about it?
Oh, like she'd tell me the truth.
Look, Sean, one thing I learned in my old job was some blokes want you to say I love you because they think that makes it more respectable. Well, it doesn't. It's just words. It don't mean a thing. It's in the eyes. That's where you seek truth.
Well, thank you for the advice, Charity. I'm going to tackle her right now.
Who are you going to tackle?
Her ladyship.
Sean, I don't think that's a good idea.
I want answers.
What you been saying to him?
Hey, I was just putting him straight on a few things.
Hey, first you get Chris in a lather, now Sean, you've been putting me to a lot of trouble this morning, young lady.
Well, it's a knack.
You better get back to your usual while you're at it.
Coming up. Oh, Tarlo. You've been thinking that we might ask Paddy and Emily round for tea sometime.
What have you, love?
Well, they're such a lovely couple.
Oh, Paddy and Emily?
Oh, surely you've noticed. We've had a right spring in his step since she moved in with him.
You've got it all wrong, Betty. Emily and Ed were getting sweet on each other. Then there was a row at the Dingles and she had to move out.
What would you two know about anything like that? I don't think you'd recognise a budding romance if it got up and bit you.
And you're putting 2 and 2 together and making 5. If you were a betting woman, I'd lay a tenner on it.
Right, well, seeing them as on a dead cert, you're on. Hey, and you're a witness to this, Alan, in case this tries to riddle out of it.
No chance. That tenner's as good as mine.
Yeah, I don't think one ought to gamble on affairs of the heart.
Oh, come on, Alan, don't be such an old fuddy-duddy. Hey, and you're the judge as to who's won. OK?
All right.
And just to show my good faith, you can hold the stakes.
I'll have to give him an eye or you. I'm a bit short just now.
That is no problem, my sweet. You will not need money, because on the day that I win, you are going to have to do all them little jobs round the house that you promised me. Now, there's the broken hinges, there's the leaky cistern, and there's the gutters that want clearing out, and that is just starters. Cheers.
Magnificent stallions.
Oh, pleasure to be working with someone who appreciates them. They're just profit and loss entries on the accounts to Chris.
Well, I think you put him in his place now.
Ah.
He'll have to see that we're the ones with the contacts. The right people. Why don't we have a little party? Wouldn't do any harm to spread the news you're back.
Yeah, that's a very good idea. I'll get Virginia to organise it. She'll know who to invite. Of course, Chris might feel a little out of his depth. He might get used to it, though. What do you want?
To talk to you. In private.
That's OK, Andrew. You can get Virginia onto it. I don't think this will take long.
So, is he the next on your list?
Oh, I haven't quite made up my mind. He's certainly worth considering.
At least he hasn't got a marriage to break up.
The phrase crying over spilt milk springs to mind.
You don't get out of it that easy. I want answers.
I'm really not into post-mortems. There are a few things more tiresome than dragging over the entrails of a dead relationship.
So you admit it's dead?
Why? Were you hoping we'd start again?
You must be joking.
Good. Well, that's one thing we're agreed on.
So what made you come back?
Unfinished business. Nothing to do with you, so we've really got nothing left to discuss.
You still haven't told me why.
Oh, does it matter? It was a bit of fun, that's all.
Fun? You destroyed my marriage. My life.
I don't remember having to drag you to bed at gunpoint. If your boring little wife meant that much to you, perhaps you should have thought about it before you started. Now, look on the bright side. You're a single man again, ready to start dating. Just don't bother knocking on my door, because I am really not interested.
Chris, coffee.
Thanks.
I've been thinking. I don't think we need to worry so much about how to deal with Tara.
Well, how'd you work that out?
Judging by past history, she'll soon get bored and take off again. More concerned about you and Charity.
Well, I'd have thought you'd have got used to her being around by now.
It's the effect on you that worries me. You wouldn't have messed up the original deal with Tara if your head hadn't been filled with her. Ever since you've been back, you've been paranoid that she'll go off with someone else. First Andrew and then Sean. Where's it going to end?
Well, it all fits. They've been spending a lot of time together. He's lonely without Angie. She's a good listener.
Well, if that's all you've got, what about Terry? He gets lonely. He spends even more time with Charity, especially since you keep sending him to check up on her. If you think she's having an affair, why don't you throw her out?
I can't do that.
Why not? Don't tell me she actually means something to you. Or is it just that you can't bear the thought of someone taking something you own?
He does appreciate you. That's why he doesn't want to lose you.
Do you reckon?
I've never seen him like that with anyone else. You've got right under his skin.
Don't think Zoe'd be too pleased to hear that.
Well, the Tates have always been too bound up in themselves. I mean, they have a squabble, the whole village suffers. And do Chris good to realise there's more to life.
So, think I'm good for him now, do you?
No, you could be. Depends on how long you're planning to stay.
Well, like to keep my options open, really. But we've kept him waiting for long enough now. You can drive me home if you like.
Has there been any word from Trish yet?
Well, Marlon got a postcard from her yesterday.
Oh, thank goodness for that, because he's been that worried, poor little love.
Well, it wasn't much comfort to him. It was postmarked London, but she didn't give an address. She just said he was better off without her and told him not to come looking for her.
Oh, that's terrible, because I know Trisha upset a lot of people, but nobody wanted her to leave the village.
Well, unfortunately, none of us can tell her that now.
Well, I think I can understand how she feels. Sometimes when you burned all your boats, moving away and making a fresh start seems like the only option.
That's not for you, though, Jack. You're the Dalesman, born and bred.
Yeah, well, it looks like there's no place for me around here anymore. I went into the job centre this morning. Don't know why they call it that. There were no jobs. Not for the likes of me, anyway.
Well, it can be difficult, you know, for a mature man.
You mean old? Yeah, they made that clear enough.
Oh, something'll turn up, Jack.
It'll have to. If I lose the farm, I've still got 3 young mouths to feed.
Well, you've got a lot of friends in this village, Jack. We'll all rally round and lend a hand.
I've never taken charity.
Well, you can start now, never pint on me.
Oh, no, that's an offer I can't refuse. Seth Armstrong buying a drink. It's a moment of history.
Hey, listen, Terry. I want to thank you for all the advice.
Hey, it's what I'm here for. No, I did mean it, though. I do think you're good for him.
You know, I didn't realise I was doing such a good job. I suppose it's a bit like therapy, though. Hey, maybe I should get a nurse's uniform.
Hey.
I share the joke?
Oh, there'll be no point. You're not in the mood for laughing today.
You're quite right. I have been rather ratty, but I intend to make up for it tonight. Take you out somewhere special.
Oh, sounds nice. What do you have in mind?
I don't want to spoil the surprise. You go home and get changed, you'll find out soon enough. I'll bring you a cab.
Hey, no need for that. I can take it home.
I'm afraid I can't let you do that. I'm turning over a new leaf. No, I don't want to presume on your good nature anymore. I've been using you as charity's minder too much. Besides, I thought we might have a few drinks first and chat.
Yeah, we'll make sure you get that one. Should be enough there. I want some change as well.
Andy, what have you been up to?
Not much, just school.
Suppose you've got to make an appearance sometimes, like me. You even made it to the job centre today.
Don't tell me you're looking for some proper work.
No, just signing on. Mind you, you got me out of some. It's the deadline for the barn conversion next week. The whole family's supposed to be grafting to meet it.
So what are you skiving for then?
Well, don't fancy humping cement for peanuts. Hey, never guess we saw at the job centre today, though. Jack Sugden, farmer of this parish. Guess he's finally had enough of shearing sheep.
No.
That's more likely he's had enough of him. Well, he's got a lot of money problems, Andy. He's probably got to cut his losses and sell up.
No, that can't be right. He's probably just asking if they've got any farm labourers or something. That'll be it.
It wasn't how it looked to me. But I guess you can ask him about it when you get home, eh?
Cheers.
I couldn't help overhearing that you'd been offering charity some advice. Got any for me?
Well, hardly my position, is it?
Oh, come on, Terry. We've known each other a long time, warts and all. I value your opinion.
You've got a funny way of showing it sometimes.
So he seems to think that I'm handling the charity situation all wrong. What do you reckon?
Well, you are getting a bit uptight about it.
Oh, so you think I should chill out, relax more?
Yeah. Well, I mean, she obviously makes you happy. So why don't you just enjoy it instead of getting paranoid about every bloke she talks to?
Sound advice. My only reservation is that you've always been a spectacular failure when it comes to judging romance.
True enough.
Oh, take Brit. You were down on your knees when she'd finished with you. Broken-hearted, no job. It was lucky I was there to put you back on your feet.
Yeah. And I'm grateful.
Grateful. You've got a funny way of showing it.
Meaning?
You have to admit, after all I've done for you, it'd be unforgivable to take away the one woman I really cared about.
How'd you get on the auction?
Nothing worth buying.
What else did you do while she was in Otten?
What is this, 20 questions?
It's the only way to get answers. You don't tell us out.
Yes, I do. I just don't want you worrying about things that might never happen.
So there is some hope then. We're not kids anymore. You can talk to us.
I've just got some money problems. They're being sorted out now. That's all you need to know, OK? Now, I know you've got homework to do, so why don't you get on with it while I get the tea started?
Zoe's right. You have lost the plot. How could you start accusing me?
You've always fancied Charity. You've been spending a lot of time together.
Well, it's only 'cause you send me after her.
'Cause I thought I could trust you.
Oh, well, if you can't, you're in worse trouble than you thought. 'Cause you've got no one else to turn to. I mean, who's been doing all your donkey work for you? Who's carried you to the car when you'd be too drunk to speak and never told a soul about it? Who listens to your worries when things go wrong? I mean, most people have got a mate for that sort of thing. You've got me.
And you've been well paid.
Oh, that's your answer to everything. Would you want to know the real reason? I feel sorry for you.
I don't need your sympathy.
Oh, good, because I'm running out of it fast. You're a grumpy git. But I thought, well, I wouldn't be too cheery if I'd lost the use of my legs. And maybe I wouldn't know how to treat people if I'd had Kim and Frank as an example.
Are you and Charity having an affair?
You haven't listened to a word I've said, have you? Because if you had, you wouldn't have to ask that. You'd know the answer.
I still want to hear it from you.
You could stuff your job, Chris. You couldn't pay me enough to put up with this. You're not going to lose Charity to some other bloke. You're going to lose her because you drive anyone who cares about you away. Well, I hope you're happy rattling about in your big house on your own, counting your money. Because that's how you're going to end up.